shit, no. Alright, I have exited the cave and found more mushrooms. Oh my god. Oh, mushrooms. Oh. On the other side, I saw the continuation of the destruction of pure natural stone which I had witnessed in the mine. Climbing upon the log, which I would assume was wet and slippery, over a waterfall with a skeleton in it that had somehow not been washed away by the water, I continued forward to find, oh my god, another skeleton and a randomly placed chest with a cheap potion in it. Soon I felt I would be like a cheap potion whore, possibly. Making potions on the cheap, certainly cheap potions. I don't know if that would qualify me for being a whore. I saw a deer and felt compelled to chase after it through the lush grass. However, I quickly realized that I was bloody lost. And then I saw a flash of green light from the distance and saw the deer running towards me and missed as I swung wildly at him. The deer continued to run away from my repeated dagger attacks. However, I knew that I would chase this fiend down, for a deer can only run so far before running into my dagger again. Oh my lord, I've been stung and paralyzed by a tarantula. A tarantula truly proved to be a very formidable opponent, as it knocked me on my ass every 5 seconds by shooting magical bolts of green at me. Spiders in this world are different than I ever remembered them being. They also seem to have a propensity for not dying. Dear Lord. This spider was truly proving to be tough, despite the fact that I was fully armed, armored, and daggered. The foul thing finally hit me and left a giant pool of my blood on the ground. I wondered how many more times I could bleed like that before my body ran out of the mere quarts of blood which it contained. However, the spider was also bleeding, since insects in this world happen to have blood. Finally, with the creature slain and 40 experience points gained, along with some blade skill, ooh, how nice, I was able to continue to spam my flashy infinite life spell. However, while fighting the spider, I had lost track of the deer, which I had so fortuitously hunted. However, the foolish creature yet again emerged upon my path, and I swore an oath to myself to steal these arrows and this gold. Ooh, how nice. People love to leave chests for me everywhere. I seem to be the luckiest person ever. I also found another entrance to that cursed place, and I realized that that is indeed where I could have exited had the door not been locked. Which made me wonder why the door was locked, or why there was an aqueduct here. I would assume it was an aqueduct. However, I cannot be sure, for I am no structural engineer. However, it does seem to run downhill for a great length, so I could only guess, perhaps, that it is meant to carry the waterfall's water down the hill. While following the aqueduct, I found that I could leap great distances without hurting myself. And also found that people leave chests with only spoons in them. The people of this world must really be a strange breed to trifle themselves with making a chest over a pair of spoons, and then leaving it conveniently on the mountainside for me to find. I found a bellows which I could use to wait around, and I could also use the water trough to wait. And there was indeed a A forge where I could process iron ingots, gold nuggets, silver nuggets, and thorium nuggets. And for each of these I would require 4 of the ore as well as some arbitrary amount of coal. Going further up the hill I found another mushroom, which I of course collected. For there is no point, no greater joy, no more rapture exquisiter than stealing people's bread. And also mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I have nothing to say to you. Goodbye, Porum the... I decided to sit down and appraise the beautiful landscape around me. Sadly, the sky was cloudy, so I could not continue to get my Jersey Shore orange. Yeah. Console. How does I get up from this chair? Ah, by turning sideways, of course. For certainly there is no nobler way to leave a chair, or a companion that refuses to talk to me. That asshole. I trusted him with my life. And I found yet another door to the wretched place from which I had come. However, I had no interest in going back, and continued to merrily skip down the hill, walking on air, and other fun things. I found somebody that looked possibly like a merchant, who sold torches, rabbit meat, various potatoes, and some fur armor.
Niemand darf das Tor passieren.
Oh, I have no idea. So this guard came up to me from behind while I was plotting to steal a fur cuirass and murder a merchant. He told me that I was not allowed to go through the gate.
Die Bastarde tauchten ganz plötzlich auf. Owald ging hinaus, sich nach ihren Angelegenheiten zu erkunden. Owald hatte keine Chance. Er war sofort tot. Barnik und ich konnten uns gerade noch rechtzeitig. Jetzt harren wir hier aus, bis Verstärkung aus der Hauptstadt Erotin eintrifft.
Hey, ihr da! Seid ihr gerade von da oben gekommen? Da ist doch nur die alte Nun ja, leider habt ihr euch da keinen guten Ort zum Verlaufen ausgesucht. Auf der anderen Seite können wir die Zeit natürlich nutzen. Was denkt ihr? Ein paar schnell verdiente Münzen, ein wenig ehrliche Arbeit und bei meinem Vorgesetzten Nehrim gibt's immer was zu tun. Er ist da in der Mine hinter mir. Soll ich euch hinführen? Gut.
After talking to the guard, that peculiar youth who had refused to speak to me decided to guide me up to his master in the mine. I had also discovered that those assholes who had trapped me in that mine had also decided to prevent me from leaving this place by killing several guards and thus putting them on alert. Now that I was stuck here, I might as well make the best of it and follow little boys into caves.
Glück auf. Ich bin Mera und hier für das Verladen der Grubenfässer zuständig.
Ah, so this is the man responsible for loading the barrels, which apparently he doesn't do because all the barrels I found were empty.
Tut eben alles dafür, alle möglichen Arbeiten auf anderer Leute Schultern abzuwälzen. Ha! Nun, da wir ja momentan hier festsitzen und uns diese Magier da... Gut, sehe ich etwa so aus, als würde ich kreischend auf den nächstbesten Tisch... Ich weiß, was ihr denkt. Oh ja. Ihr denkt euch... Aber ihr werdet doch nicht einfach hinlaufen und ein paar Mal mit eurem Schwert... Die Dinge hier verhalten sich etwas anders. Aber ich rede zu viel. Um es kurz zu machen, im Minenstollen dort... Es ist unmöglich, mehr als 2 von ihnen zu erschlagen. Denn danach haben sie sich sofort wieder verkrochen. Man müsste irgendwie die Löcher verschließen, in die sie flüchten. Ich habe keine Idee, wie man es anstellt. Also dann, der Stollen verschließt irgendwie die Löcher und bringt den Rest...
God, these people do really like to carry on about their random problems. This man told me about how I had to go kill rats for him since we were trapped here thanks to the very magicians who put me into this predicament. I can only imagine that if I were in any way in my right mind, I would despise those people and not go to them for help. However, since I am not in my right mind, that's exactly what I'm going to do once I get out of this horrid place. Now this man told me that What do you mean the bloody pickaxe broke? Oh, I see. This isn't one of those places where we can spam it. And I do believe that each node only gives me 1 block of iron and then stays there, haunting me forever with its promise of riches. Thankfully, I had stocked up in the mine pick department of the mine shaft when I was stuck down there. So, now I found myself in a room with rats, which I could not kill because they would retreat to their holes right here, and I must find some way to not get killed by these pestering animals whilst still killing them. This was indeed a problem. This block is too big to take with me. Yes, well, what shall happen when I carry it over to the rat's nest? What shall happen then? What will you do, you little bums? Perhaps this is like a puzzle. Ah, indeed it is. It was a puzzle of fitting stones into holes. Now I had to discover where... Bloody rat. Rat's ass. A large stone brick. Yes, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to bring the bloody large stone brick to the bloody frickin' rats. Get away from me, you worthless critters. This man did indeed have quite the rat problem. I could see why he would try and hire me to take care of it, for honestly, this was preposterous. The amount of rats that would crawl out of these holes. So apparently only a large stone brick would fit there.